What's up, Wolfpack? We're back with another video. As you guys know, I usually don't do this anymore, but my friend said I should bring it back, so I'm bringing it back. And so we got another awesome upper day. Hopefully, I record some good stuff. If you have anything you'd want me to talk about, please leave it in the comments. I am running out of content. If you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. Share it with your favorite friends and coworkers. If you are like, oh, this guy's it. And I'll turn back on the camera once I'm ready to go for the first exercise. All right, what's up, Wolfpack? We got the first filmed exercise of the day. We currently have chest press. Hopefully, I have some stuff to talk about. I obviously don't know right now, if you can't tell. Anyways, I'm going to get this first warm-up set out of the way just so that I can, save a little bit of time. We got 55 pounds on the machine, going for however many I feel like, and then I'll go into the first working set. There we go. Okay, that should be good. We'll go up to 130 for now. I'm pretty sure that's where I, wasn't able to do a good amount of reps. But in terms of some stuff I wanted to talk about today, first thing I do want to talk about a little bit is just a little bit about my back. Back's still been spazzing out. I didn't record Wednesday, but Wednesday and today, which is Thursday, I still am feeling a bunch of spasms. Like, it's really only when I sit down, and low-key it's usually when I'm not really focused on anything else is when I really notice it. And it's probably because I'm not focused on anything else. But I'm like I've been saying every time I've talked about it since it started, I'm not super worried about it, but it's not great knowing that it could be something, Some other things that I wanted to say before I get into here, or into the working set. I know I said I was going to film the day in the life video today, but I low-key forgot to do all this stuff this morning. And when I mean forgot, I mean I woke up and got out of my bed, which you guys didn't see me wake up. That's kind of my goal. So I'm planning on doing that tomorrow. Probably won't be as in depth compared to today, just because usually I have a lot more time to myself on today than tomorrow. But we'll make do. I'm not super worried that it'll change too much. It'll just probably be like a voiceover of me saying, "Oh, I woke up," instead of you guys hearing my morning voice, and then I get like crazy aura. But yeah. See, I said this in the intro, but I really do need you guys to start giving me some content advice, or not content advice, but just topics in general. Since most of the stuff that I consume isn't the most informational in the world. I don't really have much to say, but I'll talk about some stuff. Like I have one thing, but I'm trying to figure out how to transition into it. So if I can't find a way to transition to it, I'll just get into it. Anyways, I'm gonna get into this first working set. We got 130, like I said. We'll go for, I don't know. I am gonna go to as close to failure as I feel comfortable. Probably not true failure, but my guess is that I'll probably do like 4 to 5. And if I get more, it's a good set. All right. Yeah, right in it there. That was a little bit of a rough last rep right there. Was really fighting for that one. Not too bad though. As of recently, I've really been enjoying the chest press. When I first started lifting, I actually hated the chest press. I thought it was an awful machine. Didn't really see the benefit outside of, or when I'm already doing bench. But one thing I've kind of started to realize, mainly since I started that failure series, was that I really wasn't pushing myself as hard on bench compared to my other exercises. And even looking back at like I can't really look back, I never really recorded it, but looking back at like reflecting on like my first couple, my first every year lifting, and then kind of my first going into my second, I really wasn't pushing myself as hard as I normally do, as hard as I could. I shouldn't say normally, as hard as I could on my chest movements, and I think that really kind of stunted how much hypertrophy is actually happening. I'm not saying that I got like everything kind of locked down. I think there's a lot of things I could definitely still fix, whether I can do it right now or not. Like one thing I know I could probably fix right now is probably my diet. If you guys know, I've been pretty open about this by now, but I don't really get my protein in, and I don't track my calories. It's not, when I said, I'm pretty open about this, it makes it sound like I'm like about to say that I take gear or some shit. But no, I just don't really do a whole lot of the tracking calorie stuff. I don't do a whole lot of eating protein, and I would say I'm very much like lopsided in my macros. Like, there's probably, if I had to guess in a day, it'd probably be like 300 to 400 grams of carbs, probably like 50 grams of fat, maybe 60. I'll say 50 to 70. And protein is probably like, as of right now, it's probably 60 to 80. Prior to me eating these Kind protein bars, it's probably closer to like 40 to 60. But yeah, I really do need to lock in on the diet a little bit and probably get a little bit more sleep. I don't think I get the most amount of sleep. I will say one part of it is because my roommate's alarm wakes me up, which actually, some good news for today. He actually woke up to his alarm, so I didn't have to hear it too much. But still did wake me up. But, props to the roomie. I was actually really happy with that. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of things I could fix. But one thing I do feel pretty good about is just how I kind of run my program and stuff. Which I want to make this very clear. Obviously, I don't make any money while doing these because I'm a brokey. I'm a nobody in terms of social media influence. But one thing I promise I'll never do is sell a workout plan. In my humble opinion, workout plans, you can, if you do any amount of research in just the science-based lifting space, I'm not saying you have to go like niche and do like the 5,000 followers on Instagram people who are like science-based lifters and grab like the mouth guard and all that, but like watch like 3 Jeff Nippard videos, see what exercises he thinks are good, and then lock them down And if you're an advanced lifter, switch it around to where you're starting off with your weak points, and you're starting your lifts off with your weak like muscles. So like let's say your chest was a limiting factor on your physique, you should really start with your chest exercises. Same goes with like if your biceps were the limiting factor on your physique, which that I would say is really only like an advanced thing, because when you're starting to lift, this is a pretty common take, I'd say. I don't think this is a hot take, but when you're starting, everything's kind of weak. You don't really have any muscle, or well, you do have muscle, but like nothing like crazy to where you can be like, oh yeah, the calves are the weak point of my body. But yeah. So if this ever does become like a thing where I can kind of do this full time and be able to sustain my living, just letting you guys know, a workout plan, if I make any, it will be free. I want to make that very clear. I think, like I said, I think if you're paying for a workout plan, you're just kind of being a little lazy to do some research. Maybe that's a hot take, maybe it's not, I don't really know. But once again, I will say, workout plans are a good thing if you couldn't do the research. But most people can do the research. So that's why I'm kind of against them. But that's just my hot take. You don't have to follow it if you don't want to. Go buy your workout plan if you think that's your limiting thing. Anyways, I kind of went on a little bit of a rant there. So I'm gonna get this last working set in. I'm gonna go to failure on this one, just to kind of gauge where I'm at. See if I could have done more on that first working set, and then we'll go from there. Wait, let me. Quick intermission. I gotta turn up the music. All right, that was a good set. I'll be real, I was not counting my reps there. I want to say I got like 7, but I really have no clue. One thing before I turn off the camera and go to the next exercise, just wanted to say this as kind of a thing. If you guys need me to show you my split, let me know, and I'll leave like the Google sheet that I use. I'll just leave that in the description so you guys can look at it in your free time. But I'll turn back on the camera when I got another lift ready. See you guys then. Alright, what's up, Wolfpack? Normally, I would actually be done with my workout right now. I just finished my last exercise on the exercise plan. But I'm gonna be honest, I was low-key in the mood to hit some T-bars, afterwards. So that's what we're doing right now. Good thing is I didn't record any other exercise, so this will make a good second exercise. But as of right now, I'm gonna start this first warm-up set. All right. Right now, we just got 45 on. Just do however many I feel like, and then we'll go from there. Also, I'm gonna have to look back at the recording. I think I'm in frame right now. Hopefully you guys could see me somewhat well. If not, that sucks. We'll see. All right.
I mean, I think I'm only gonna like dumbbells and dumbbell incline. I'm not going up.
Okay, we're gonna end it off there for the warm-up set. I'm gonna move this mic up a little bit. I feel like I was kind of hitting it. hitting it against the machine, or well, yeah, I guess the machine. We're just gonna throw it on 25 for now. Make it calm. You know, like I said, I'm being a little bit more cautious on my back. Oh yeah, in terms of if I'm bulking or cutting in the future, although the poll doesn't really show it, my friend and someone else, my friend through the comment section on one of the videos, and the poll had technically more votes, even though technically there isn't a vote. But yeah, had more votes. So as soon as I can bulk, I will bulk, and then I'm gonna try my first ever cut. I'll probably do when I feel like I can officially start the bulk. I'm going to do that probably, I don't know, 3-4 months, and then I'll go into a cut, call it good there, and then we'll see what I look like when I'm lean, and hopefully I look bigger. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the bulk. But yeah, I think if I do bulk, my target weight is probably gonna be, I don't know, 210 to 220, which is gonna be really close to my all-time peak weight, as my all-time peak weight was in 9th grade, and I was about, I'm actually gonna move this camera up real quick. Sorry for kind of randomly ending there, but yeah, my peak weight was probably about, I want to say 215, which was during 9th grade. Really was a fat kid back then, had no movement at all, and I'd eat kind of how I eat right now. I would argue I honestly ate more then. And then like halfway through 9th grade, something changed. My metabolism probably like shot through the roof, because then I lost like 40 pounds, or more like 35. But I lost 35 pounds in the span of half a school year. So, you know, it was a little bit of a drastic change, but I was there for it. And then again, I will say there's a good chance that those 35 pounds technically weren't, or I technically didn't lose 35 pounds, because the scale that I had at my house at the time was really shitty. There'd be days where I'd be up like, I want to say, I would either go from 170 or like 190, and even sometimes 150. Like it was really dodgy. But I'm pretty confident that I lost like 25 pounds at least. So something happened during 9th grade. Maybe it was because I started walking around the track during recess. But yeah. But as soon as I got to the gym, I really have kind of maintained the same kind of 190, 180 weight the entire time. Like I want to say the highest I've been since I've been in the gym is probably 200. And usually I would go right back down to 190 in like a week's time. So in terms of my weight, I really haven't moved much, but we'll see. We'll try and get to 210 whenever I can. You know, just eat a lot, and hopefully I get my macros on point. If I do that, I am gonna start tracking my calories, but I'm kind of talking a little much. I'm gonna get into this first working set. We'll do as many as I can. My guess is I'll probably be able to do like 8 to 10. So I'll be pretty happy with that. If not, oh well. My grip was really starting to slip there. I feel like I probably could have done a little more if my grip was a little bit more intact right there. But probably not to where I thought I was going to be, because I'm pretty sure I only did 6 there. Whew. But we are going to throw on another 10. Not sure if you guys could see that. But yeah, we got another 10 on. Just because, like I said, I feel like I could have done a little more there. It's all right, though. I'm not super worried about the reps I'm doing on this, just because this is really just like an accessory exercise. You know, normally I wouldn't do 3 back exercises in a day. Obviously, you guys didn't see the first 2, but, you know, just having a little fun. Also, one thing I will say, if you are kind of struggling on your back exercises, maybe you're not like seeing the growth or the strength, either of those gains and what you wanted. Like for me, up until I did this 30-day challenge, I was really, although back is like my favorite exercise, or like my favorite kind of exercise to hit, or my favorite muscle to hit, I would say it was probably one of my smaller ones. Like you could see some definition back there, but like you really couldn't see my lats. And I was like, I honestly had no clue what I was doing wrong. But during that 30-day challenge, I switched to a unilateral kind of back, my unilateral row and my unilateral lat pull down. I really, you know, outside of me obviously training the failure, I really think that me switching to unilateral kind of made the difference. I feel like I was kind of able to focus a lot more on my back while lifting, which is kind of why I think I really saw the growth that I saw at the end of that. So really, it was a good thing. Whew. But yeah, if you're struggling, that's my suggestion. You know, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I'm not gonna say it's a guaranteed, but from my experience, it felt pretty good. I've said this basically through all parts of the video now, but if you do have some stuff you want me to talk about, want to hear my opinion on something that you want to hear my opinion on, leave it in the comments. You know, I am more than willing to respond to a lot of things. I have a lot of opinions, and you know, if you're watching this, you probably listen to the same things that I listen to. So it's very likely that I'll have an opinion on what you want to talk about. And yeah, what else can I say? Oh, real question.
Good evening. The time is now 10:30 and the SLC in Gordon Field
I'll be
House
fine.
will close in 30
I'll wait for this to finish real quick.
Please return all equipment to the cage and exit through the main entrance.
I'll be good. I got one
before
exercise
this
or
time.
one set
Thank you.
with half an hour. I'll be fine. But my question is, when I do my physique checks, should I kind of like should I mess with the lighting, or should I just keep it how it is? Because like I could get like super low exposure on my shit and then look like I'm much more ripped than I actually am. But I feel like, similar to how I kind of minimize the amount of editing I do in these videos, it kind of breaks that authenticity barrier that I'm really trying to keep. So let me know if you guys disagree with me. Maybe you're like, oh no, you know, at the end of the day, it's just a lighting thing, and you have some argument like that. I don't really know, but let me know, because if you know, like I feel like in terms of if I were to post something like it, or with the lower exposure posing, I feel like it would probably be better in terms of people wanting to watch and be like, oh, how did he get such a good physique? Although it's not that great. I don't know. You know, like I said, leave it in the comments. Anyways, I'm gonna get this last set out of the way. Based off of last set, I'll be happy with 5 reps. I don't know if my grip's gonna kind of screw me over here or not, but you never know. Normally I would do thumb kind of over, but I'm gonna do it under just to kind of lock in that grip. No. Whew. I think that's the first time I've really kind of failed there. I don't think I've ever failed on this. Maybe I've had like struggling sets, but I don't think I've ever failed on that. Wow. A little humbling. I feel like I've done more. Anyways, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and share it with your favorite friends and coworkers. If you want to follow me on other platforms, there'll be a link tree in the description for my Instagram, Twitter, and all that. If you want to hear me talk about stuff, leave it in the comments. Make sure you do your laundry. Love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.